All right, hello Internet. Welcome to another Office Hours with Mike, who sucks at hacking. Today I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on some wonderful news that I just found out about. Apparently, I've been tracking this issue for a while. The good Autopsy, the one that actually has been working on Windows for like 5-6 years, finally frickin' works on Linux. This is one of the major issues on their GitHub that's tracking this. I'm sure there's like 10 others that I saw first, but this was the main one. And as of right now, it's still an issue because as of right now, I believe, well, I don't believe I've tested this, as far as I know, unless they updated it today. If you're probably wondering, like, why do I need to install Autopsy? Isn't it just apt to install Autopsy? But you would be wrong. This is actually the old graphical user interface to Autopsy. If you've never seen it before, it looks something like, where is it? It's one of these. Not that one. This one. Right. Kind of like an unformatted web page, basically. I mean, it does everything that regular Autopsy does. Like, it runs the sleuthkit that does everything you need. But it's like, if you're just starting out with forensics, this can be a little overwhelming. It doesn't really make sense to you. It didn't make sense to me when I first ran it. And I think this is still the version that is installed by default on Kali and also like Paladin OS. If you never heard of Paladin OS, it's a pretty cool little forensic suite by the guys at Sumuri. It's like a bootable USB like image capture thing. But anyway, that is like the old version of Autopsy, and for years, for some reason, it just didn't install on Linux. It was taken out of. I've tried compiling it myself like about a year or two ago, and I just got errors out the ass, like Java stuff. And once Java stuff happening, is I'm like, I don't know how Java handles graphics and all that, so that's probably what's going on here. I'm just going to have to wait for the developers to kind of fix it. And they finally have. So, we will go through the steps on how to do this. I imagine this video is going to be obsoleted in about like a few months to a year, as soon as they bundle this up and put it on the official repositories for Ubuntu and Debian. You are not going to have to do this process anymore, but if you're eager and you want to try out Autopsy, especially if you're in my digital forensics class, the version we're using in class is kind of like the older version, which will introduce you to you just fine, but if you want to dive a little deeper and try to install this on your own, here's how you do it. And this works for Mac too, by the way. So apparently whatever issue was on Linux was also on Mac. But whatever. So what do we need for the download? So here I'm at Autopsy's main page. And there's some simple instructions. You got to download this zip file, this .deb file, a Debian package, and then follow these instructions. Those instructions I popped out over here. I went ahead and I already downloaded those two files on my desktop here. Right, but you're going to want to download those and place them where you want to. Right, but for this demo, I'm going to be doing it on my desktop. If you want to, you can install it as a snap package. I tend to avoid snaps. Sometimes I haven't had good luck with snaps in the past. I don't know why. I don't honestly even understand how snaps work, really. But you could install it as a snap, but I'm going to do the manual install for people who are interested in doing so. Okay, so what do we got to do? Oh, first word of caution, installing the SleuthKit. So this is where I ran into my first problem when I installed this the first time. The problem I ran into, and I'll show you kind of what it was. So I actually had the SleuthKit installed, the official SleuthKit package that's currently in Debian right now. So I'll show you what's going to happen if I install this version. Right, so, oh, I already have errors, right? And this is what's, you know what, this is probably from the other package I installed, actually. So, my main point here is if you see something like dpackage error processing libtsk 19, you have conflicting versions of the SleuthKit. That means your libraries are mismatched, or something's got to be removed, or something like that. So if you run into an error like this, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove anything related to the SleuthKit. So I'm going to go ahead and remove SleuthKit. Not SleuthKit Java, that's the name of the package we're going to install. All right, so remove that. And just for good measure, remove that libsk19 thing. Okay, in this case, it's not installed, so I guess dpackage probably caught it and didn't install it. Okay, so just make sure, and one last thing, in general, it's generally a good idea to run auto remove on Debian or Ubuntu or stuff like that. This is going to remove anything that is like old. In this case, I have none, but sometimes they can cause conflicts. So just make sure that those are clean before you do this install. So yeah, we're using a custom package from the Autopsy people, right? We're not getting the package from Debian. Right, so we can't do this with the Debian package, right? That's kind of my point here. You're going to want to install the one that they have here. So once you've made sure that all your SleuthKit components are removed, you're going to go ahead and do a sudo apt install. And you're going to do / for the current directory, SleuthKit Java. Okay, hit enter. Oh, I guess okay, it was probably almost done. I thought I was going to remove it for this demo, but that's okay. So I had already installed this before this demo. That's what that's saying. But at this point, you should have the SleuthKit installed on your system. Going back to the instructions. So we have the SleuthKit installed. Next, you're going to want to download that Autopsy file. So let me just clean this up. Right, that's going to be this guy right here. More Mac. Yeah, if you're on Mac, make sure you read the extra stuff. It's a little bit different, but it's mostly the same steps. Just you're putting things in different places a little bit. So now it wants me to run install application.sh. Let's go ahead and look at that. Wait, there was another thing before this. I skipped something, didn't I? Oh, goodness. Should have installed the prerequisites first, right? You should install the prerequisites before you install the SleuthKit. Sorry about that, folks. So if you're getting any errors on installing the SleuthKit, you might want to do this step first. So let's go ahead and open this script. Okay. We'll go ahead and copy that link. We're going to download it with wget. And my recommendation in general is to always read your shell scripts real quick, or just give them a quick once over. In this case, this actually caused a problem in my system that I did not expect, so I should have read the shell script. So let's go ahead and read that now. So what's going on here? Stupid. I have to fix that. So what's going on here? First thing, this is the line that actually screwed me up. This little line here, I should highlight. Right, sudo sed -ei replace anything that starts with a comment and deb source with just deb source. So it's uncommenting a line in the sources list file. Now, this is kind of distro specific. I think what they were doing was they were intending to install this on like stock Ubuntu. And I looked this up earlier. Stock Ubuntu's sources list looks something like this, where you have just deb, but you don't have anything that says deb source. The reason you need deb source is because you're now installing Autopsy's package, right? You're not installing Debian's anymore. So to do those kind of packages, those also might need to like refer to other dependencies, so it also needs a link. So you just need to uncomment that line. In my case, that line was already uncommented, and it actually uncommented a different line for like some old package that I wasn't using anymore, and caused predictable errors. All right, so my warning number 2 is, depending on your system, you might want to remove this line. I'm going to go ahead and remove it for myself, and then you can make the adjustments to your sources file accordingly. In case you're not familiar with that, the way you would edit your sources file is with any kind of text editor. I'm going to go with it. The directory is etc apt sources list. All right, and you can see that I have some deb source lines here. So actually the line that it uncommented was this one, which is looks like an old distribution of Debian. Yeah, I upgraded from Bullseye to SID a long time ago. Okay, so now that I've changed our script, I'm going to go ahead and make it executable. Oh, I should finish reviewing it first before I do that. So what else is going on in the script? Sure, it's not doing anything funky. Looks like it's just adding all the packages. So if you are an Arch person, be aware that these, or any other kind of distro, be aware that these are Debian and Ubuntu specific packages, right? So these might not have the same names in your distro, so just be aware of that if you're trying to do this on Arch or something like that. It might still work. I imagine most of these are probably named the same, but I can't guarantee that. All right, let's go ahead and install prerequisites. All right, so everything's the newest version, and it spits out this Java version. You're going to want to note that down. That's going to be for the next step. And actually, it tells you that in the instructions, but I'm telling you that here. At this point, I would want to actually install the SleuthKit at this point, so let me go ahead and do that now. All right, so passed, no problems. And let's go on to the next step. So let's see, we got installing Autopsy. Oh wait, that's what we want. So we downloaded the zip file, and now we're going to want yet another script. So let's go ahead and read this one real quick. Okay, so I'm just copying that link, wget, download that link. Okay, so this one is called install application. Has some usage instructions. There are options here, N, Z, I, J, and V. Okay, so your options are going to be your application name, the zip path, the install directory, I don't know what ASC file means, and the Java path that's going to be required. So if not install directory, exit. If it's not that, then print a warning message. Looks like we're adding some keys, some directories. Yeah, so they're probably adding their keys so they can verify that the application. Extracting, it's going to extract the autopsy directory. All right, this looks pretty much straight, straightforward install stuff. I don't think there's anything that needs to be changed there. And when I ran this, after I had the first two problems, I didn't have any problems with this one. Let's go ahead and make that executable. And let's go ahead and install the application. Okay, now at this part, you're going to want to just refer back to the instructions on how to actually use this. The parameters are Z for the zip path, I for the install directory, and J for the Java home. That's the minimum. And they give you a quick little example here. I have this command in my history, so I'll go ahead and just complete that. But I'll read it out for you. So Z for that zip file that we have. I went ahead and made a new directory called Autopsy in my home. If you want to do that real quick from here, you could just do like make dir ~autopsy. Yeah, it already exists though. We have an install directory, application, install directory, and that Java home. All right, so so after that J, this is where you're going to want to copy that directory from before. And I stupidly did not copy it, but you should be smart and copy it. All right, so we'll go ahead and install. All right, so it is unzipping the file right now. Big old file. Good thing I brought coffee. Okay, application setup done, and you can run Autopsy from home, HAL 9001, autopsy / autopsy bin autopsy. Okay, now this is the third warning. The third fuck up I made is what I tried to do when I installed this. Let's go to that directory. I went into the bin directory and tried to launch Autopsy. And this is what's going to happen. It's just going to kind of sit there and not like ever tell you anything. So the issue here is you actually have to run it from this directory right now, right? So this is still in testing, so I assume they haven't really thought about like, paths and where things should ultimately be. So in this case, you're always going to want to run it as bin / autopsy, right? That way you can actually run the program. All right, so let's go ahead and run it. watch it not work now that I've done all this work. After poking around for a few minutes, I figured out what happened here. Well, I didn't figure out what happened, honestly, but I figured out a way around it, at least. There is still some stuff that doesn't quite work with Linux yet. You can read all of them here. But the main thing I noticed is it shows a window that can appear behind the splash screen. I think that's what happened here. Surprisingly, it didn't happen when I ran it the other day, but you know how software is. Sometimes shit just happens. So anyway, when I added the no splash flag here, like it says here, this no splash flag here, that worked perfectly. So all you got to do is bin autopsy no splash, and it should work just fine. I want you to not work now. That'd be hilarious. Oh, it showed up on the other screen. Let me bring it down here. Okay, yeah, there we go. We're open now. Okay, great. That's unfortunately I couldn't find that during the stream. But let me go ahead and just show you a little bit about how this stuff all works. Just a few features of Autopsy. Unfortunately, the text here is a little small. I apologize for that. I'm not sure how to change it on Autopsy. I don't think there's really a built-in way to do it. But this top left here is this little where it says case. Excuse me. So this is where you're going to make your new case files. So I'll give it a name, call it test. Yeah, call it autopsy/cases. Just make sure that directory actually exists. Yeah, it doesn't. So we're going to have to make that. Here's a new folder. Here we go. Cases. Single user, next. Case number doesn't really matter. Unless you're like in an actual investigation, then it matters, but for here it does not. Alright, so we opened up our test case. And for our test image here, it brought up the data source list. I was about to do that. So you can leave the default here. We're going to select a disk image or VM file. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select an old image I got from a laptop I got on eBay. It doesn't really have any data on it. It just has a copy of Windows, so it's fun to poke at. So it's going to be in backup, I think. Oh, you know what? It's on my hard drive. Now that my hard drive's actually connected, we can select that image. So let's go ahead to the black hole and select eBay image 2. Open that. And we can leave all that stuff alone. Now, my recommendation for this part, generally, I would say deselect all and only pick the ones you really, really need. Because this is just going to waste time for the most part. And most of the stuff you really only need on specific things. Stuff you should really kind of probably always use, I would say the recent activity, although it doesn't work on Linux or Mac, unfortunately, so that's going to be useless here, but generally I would recommend it. This one can sometimes be file type identification, that's always useful. Extension mismatch sometimes can be useful, but not always, so I put it on just in case, kind of. Keyword search, not unless you have keyword to search, and really nothing else. Oh, encryption detection. And interesting files identifier. That'll get you like any kind of like encryption, cryptocurrency stuff, or passwords, cloud storage, stuff like that. Go ahead and hit next. And it's going to take its time, so at this point you might want to get coffee. There we go. Alright, that's all added now. Time. Okay, and then at this point you can start exploring. So if you want to just like kind of poke around the data, that's usually where I start, is just poking at the data source itself. You're going to find this little data source tab. Again, apologize, the screen's not really so good. I don't know how to fix that with Autopsy. Not great for demonstrations. So here's the image. You can see some volumes here. NTFS is probably where our main file system is. The rest is probably just crap space. So let's go ahead and look at what Windows got here. Okay, so this is a very old copy of Windows. You can see i386. That's an old processor. And it looks like we got... Looks like this is just a blank Windows image, or probably like an install image or something like that. Because, well, I don't want to be in Windows. Did it have user? Yeah, there's no users file. or anything like that. So yeah, this is probably basically reset to factory setting, which is what I'd expect if I got something from eBay, pretty much. So nothing juicy here, but you can still kind of find a little bit about this device, just kind of by poking around at what Autopsy gives you. So for example, this OS accounts here thing, I always look at this one. You can see all the kind of default names, owner, administrator, guest, blah, 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 all that stuff is all pre-configured. You can see from the time, around 2006 is when this device was created, so quite old. This was an old ThinkPad, I think, that I tried and failed to revive. Extension mismatch, yeah, it's not going to help me with much. USB device attached, I'm surprised if we got anything here. Yeah, this is just the standard stuff that comes in your own in a ThinkPad. So the base of the ThinkPad, the fingerprint reader, and just the USB ports. So no actual USB devices. Shell bags. This is like recent files and things like that. Probably not gonna find anything here because it's yeah, this is all just like default stuff. Okay, that is Autopsy on Linux. There, as you saw, some hiccups along the way, but it is working as of 2024. Here's hoping that they get those other features all fixed up within the next year and actually get a legitimate package out to Debian and Ubuntu. If I knew more about package management, I would say go bug those package managers, but frankly, I don't know how much goes into this. They're probably busy, just as busy as we are. That is it for now. Thanks for watching, and for more videos, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever YouTubers do these days. And that is it, guys. Signing off for now.